7-year-old Silas lived in a tiny, drafty shack at the edge of the gray city. His clothes were full of patches, and his stomach often rumbled like distant thunder. His only treasure was a stuffed dinosaur named Bram, whose green fur had faded to the color of misty mornings. Silas spent his days dreaming of a world filled with light and warmth, where no one ever had to feel the bite of the winter wind. Silas lived with his father, Cassian, who worked long hours at the coal docks. Every evening, they shared a single bowl of thin vegetable broth by the flicker of a dying candle. "One day, Silas," Cassian would say, his voice tired but steady, "your hands will build something greater than these walls." Silas squeezed Bram tight, wondering how a boy with nothing could ever create something grand. One cold afternoon, Silas visited Grandma Xanthe, who lived in a basement filled with discarded treasures. She reached into a dusty trunk and pulled out a tarnished, broken lamp. "This is the lantern of brave dreams," she whispered. "It doesn't work with oil, Silas. It works with hope and hard work." She placed the heavy, cold metal into his small, trembling hands. Silas took the lantern back to his cold corner. With Bram sitting nearby as his silent helper, Silas began to clean. He polished the glass with a scrap of cloth until it shone like a diamond. He used a bit of wire to fix the latch and a drop of tallow to smooth the hinges. As he worked, he realized he had a gift for fixing things that others had thrown away. That night, Silas found a discarded candle stub and lit the lantern. The light didn't just flicker. It glowed with a magnificent amber warmth that filled the shack. Cassian gasped as he walked through the door. "It's beautiful, Silas." "It looks like a fallen star." For the first time in years, the shack didn't feel like a prison. It felt like a workshop. Silas began collecting more broken lamps from the city's scrap heaps. He fixed them all, adding beautiful patterns to the metal. One day, a merchant named Orel stopped his carriage at the edge of the gray city. Orel was a man who appreciated fine things, and he had never seen light so pure. "Where did you get these, boy?" Orel asked, his eyes fixed on a silver-patterned lamp. "I made them," Silas said bravely. Orel smiled and handed Silas a heavy silk pouch. It was filled with more gold coins than Silas had seen in his entire life. "I want 50 of these for my shop in the Golden District," Orel declared. Silas's heart did a happy dance. He wasn't just a poor boy anymore. He was a creator, a maker of light. The coins allowed Silas and Cassian to move away from the drafty shack. They bought a small, sturdy house with a real fireplace and a workshop in the back. Cassian didn't have to work at the coal docks anymore. He became Silas's partner, helping to forge the metal frames. Together, they turned their hard work into a life of comfort and safety. Silas never forgot where he started. One snowy evening, he returned to the basement to visit Grandma Xanthe. He didn't come empty-handed. He brought a basket filled with fresh bread, sweet honey, and a brand new lantern made of pure brass. "You were right, Grandma," Silas said, hugging her tight. "The dreams were always there. I just had to build the light to see them." Now Silas lives in a house filled with books, warmth, and the smell of toasted oats. He is a famous craftsman, but he still keeps his very first lantern on his bedside table. Every night, he tucks Bram under a soft velvet quilt. As the amber light dances on the ceiling, Silas knows that the greatest riches aren't the gold coins in the chest, but the love and hope that light the way home.